today I'm going to be rating all of the guns in it strictly from the remake because I have not played the original. It's more something that a family member of mine played and I just enjoyed watching. When the remake got out, I got to play it for myself. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing this. This is on mobile, so sorry if it takes a while for me to actually put it onto the chart, and I'll show a final photo of what it looks like later. But let's start off with the first one, which is the CQBR assault rifle, I want to say. Is that what this one is? Yeah. Not going, yeah. With cat ears, this gun would be easily like your best boss melt-in gun. It just does so much DPS, or damage per second. But it takes so much rifle ammo if you don't have it, and that is not something that's hard to get, but it's not something that's easy either. So with cat ears, it's a must-have, but without it, it's an eh. So I'd say that rounds out to just say solid. And then we have the SR bolt action rifle, and holy cow, this is a must-have. Like, I remember reselling it for the Stingray on the remake because I've heard that it was like probably the best. And even though this one has the bolt action, with that exclusive upgrade, it quite literally two-shots most mini bosses, one-shots anything else, and then it just depletes anything's HP within just a single bullet, and it's so nice to have. As long as you can hit your shots and have the money to get the power up, this is easily a must-have because that's your boss killer. And the Red 9. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put it at solid. It's a solid gun. So I would put it at eh, but just the damage from being the strongest handgun is really useful. You can probably one-tap a lot of normal enemies. Really good gun in terms of damage. But then we have the downsides. The bloom is just huge. You're probably going to miss half of your shots from an actual good distance. Fire rate isn't incredibly fast. That might mess up some of your kills and you might get injured because of it. So the damage is the only reason that this thing is even from eh. But yeah, damage is the only redeeming factor with that. And next up we have the Stingray. Now, I used to really absolutely meat ride this gun from how much I just thought it was the best, but after realizing it took way too many bullets just to kill something because its damage is really low for a rifle, it's a great choice for people, especially like I was early on when I missed everything because it doesn't bolt, but the damage just does not kill things right away, and that bugs me because it makes me feel like I'm wasting my shots. So I would say this would be a must-have for like newer people that don't know how to hit their shots as well and would just rather have just a gun that's easier to use, even if the power is significantly less. Still a great choice. Ooh, and then we have the Killer 7. Holy cow, this is, if I had cat ears, this would probably be the only gun I'm using for anything medium to short range, because even if it is the weakest Magnum, that big thing on top of it, yeah, that's a laser, which means that you're almost guaranteed to get a critical hit each time. And I would rather have accuracy, speed, and just the fact that I hit my opponent over missing it horribly. Like, good luck hitting Krauser with, like, a broken butterfly versus with the Killer 7 where you're almost always going to hit him from that laser. And it comes with it if I believe I'm correct. So, overall, just really good Magnum. Good laser, just good everything. Nothing really wrong with it. Best Magnum, in my opinion. Alright, and then we have another Magnum. Probably, if I remember correctly, this is the highest damage one. And I would consider this to, just from all that damage, be a great choice, especially early on since you get it. I believe this is the first Magnum that you can get, and boy does it pack a punch. Even if its bloom compared to the Killer 7 is awful and still can't hit very well. Up close, whatever you're shooting, yeah, it's dead. Like, no, don't need to worry about anything coming close to you because you're the one in control once that happens. So yeah, really good close range, not good long range at all. That's where the Killer 7 thrives. But still, probably, if I remember correctly, highest damage Magnum. With a critical, that could do miracles. Alright, then we have, believe it's the last Magnum, the hand cannon. Now, this one is kind of right in the middle in terms of damage. And yeah, I'd say it's really good, but the only reason it isn't lower is because of that infinite ammo upgrade, which, once you get that, this is just basically GG for the entire rest of your run. It's so useful just not to have to reload or worry about Magnum ammo. However, without it, I would say this is the worst Magnum. Its bloom and just precision, I feel like, is the lowest. It takes forever for it to get even just slightly close up its bloom. The damage is right in the middle, so it's good on that, but you're probably going to miss your shots more than any other Magnum. But again, with the cat ears, this could be must have, but without it, it's probably just a solid or even gun. But yeah, still a great choice if you have the cat ears. Alright, and next up we have the TMP. Now, I haven't personally used this, but I have seen clips of it. And I'd say it's solid. It's a good gun. This is definitely more of a what is it called? Boss killing gun. Just because of the large magazine. Well, I don't have much to say about it since I haven't used it, but I just know it's more for bosses than it is for common enemies. Don't know why exactly, however. Perhaps it's just the higher damage, if that's what it has. Yeah, if I recall correctly, it takes up pretty small space, but with its stock, it actually takes up a decent bit. With this gun, you either love it or you hate it. There's no real in-between unless you just haven't played with it, like myself. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. And next up, we have the LE5, which I do, in fact, have. And this is a solid gun as well. Not a huge fan of these. Some machine guns, I do like them for getting people out of the way by stunning them. But you're barely going to kill anything with these. But the reason why I prefer the LE5 is because I would never use a submachine gun on a boss unless I have absolutely no ammo. So I would rather use like a rifle or a shotgun or even Magnum for that, which is why I prefer it for common enemies and getting them out of my way, which the LE5 is much better than the TMP for that because of its way better penetration power. The fact that you can put on rifle scopes instead of a stock, making it way easier to have distance and just be able to see things from far away. Yeah, it's basically, in my opinion, it's just a TMP, but better. Not enough to go up a whole rank, but better. Alright, what's next? Ooh, the Chicago Sweeper. This one also is going into a great choice. Probably for the same reason as the hand cannon, just that infinite ammo was, well, again, GG, the entire run is yours, you won. But I personally would rather have it over the hand cannon just from the raw fact that this has much better range and stun capabilities. And yeah, without it, just about the same as the other two. I'd probably take the LE5 if it didn't have the infinite ammo because it just takes up so much room and doesn't really have a special ability besides infinite ammo. But then again, that the cat ears and infinite ammo will still make it so easy for you to use this gun. Alright, now we have the rocket launcher. I'm gonna put that there, and before you read it and just say, why are you calling it trash? That gun's the best in the game. If you look to the next of it, it says meme. You can meme things with a rocket launcher, infinite or normal. It one-shots anything, no matter what. Unless there's like that weird one exception of the unfrozen vertigo, but like then he's two tap. But this is such a meme tier. If you have the infinite version of this, you probably have a better GG than the other two infinite weapons. So yeah. Alright, and then we have the bolt thrower, which is also going to be in that tier. But not because of the meme part, because of the trash part. Because this gun is absolute dookie pooks. Like, this thing sucks. Like, never buy it. I don't recommend it. So many people on YouTube that are, like, pretty popular buy it because the infinite ammo and just the fact that it looks cool conceives them. I'm going to warn you this now. Do not buy this. This is horrible. Its bloom is huge. It should be more accurate, but it isn't. Its damage is pathetic. You're probably going to need to use all of your bolts to kill one thing, and then you'll have to retrieve them just to do another enemy. What else? Oh yeah, the attachable mines. Like, those are probably good for like that one scene at the Chainsaw Sisters. But do you want to know what else can also two-tap them and the head fully maxed out? The bolt rifle. That can do it so much easier without injuring yourself or wasting some of your bullets or bolts permanently. Yeah, really bad gun. Wouldn't get it. The game mostly does a really good job of organizing the guns, but the bolt thrower is just not it. What do we have next? Yep. I do not have the DLC to rate the Sentinel 9. But I've heard it's basically a better SGO9, and I personally like that handgun. Excuse me. So, I will just put... My apologies, that's awkward. Anyways. Yeah, I'd say it's a great choice. I've just heard that it's a tad bit weaker in return for basically everything being better. It's just like an SGO9, but superior. It's like its older sibling. So, don't have the DLC or anything, so can't get it. Not gonna pay extra money for it either, so... Just from what I heard that it's a great choice. Not the best, but it's great. Pretty good. Alright, now we have the Punisher. And I know some people really like it for its penetrating power, but I'm gonna be honest. It's not gonna be up there. It's an AM weapon. The penetration power it's nice, but you're gonna have to be stacked up against a wall with like 80 people trying to get to you. And it might be able to hit 5, but with what damage? This has got to be like one of the weakest handguns in the game. What you're penetrating through is like little mosquito bites. Like, they're not gonna feel it even if it is damaging them. Just not my favorite, not something I'd personally ever use or especially buy with spinels. I'd rather save up for an exclusive upgrade ticket and upgrade something up here versus waste it on this gun. Again, if it's your personal preference, this is just a biased list. Personally, I don't think it's too biased, but it might be. So don't take any of this too personally and just like what you like. But I'm going to move on to the next one. Ooh, if I remember correctly, this one's called the Matilda. Yeah, the Matilda. This one is with the infinite ammo, or the stock even, this thing just becomes the better version of the submachine guns because it can shoot 3 bullets with every like trigger pull or whatever, where it shoots like 3 at once. And if you can time it and like shoot it precisely enough, you can just turn it into a submachine gun. Good damage, good everything. Honestly, just a better submachine gun. Because you have to remember, the Chicago Sweeper would be lower if it wasn't for the infinite ammo. But, yeah, the Matilda just got really good, especially for, like, your minimalist runs, which I've never done, but I've heard that this and, like, the Blacktail, which I'll probably do next, will carry you through it. But, yeah, one of the better handguns if you have the infinite ammo. Probably the best handgun if you have infinite ammo. But then again, not everyone has it, so that's why it's a great choice. Oh yeah, and then we have probably one of my favorite guns in the entire existence of the entire game, the Blacktail. Oh my goodness, I love this gun. So I remember using the SG09 for a while, the default one. Then I was like, so many people prefer the Blacktail, so I might as well sell it and try it out. And that was probably one of the greatest choices I've ever made. Firstly, its ammo capacity. It might be the only bad thing about this gun. And that ammo capacity isn't even a big issue for me. That's like probably my smallest complaint with every gun. So let's get all the pros out of the way, which will take much longer. It's probably the smallest handgun. Like, that's really nice. It's got great weapon bloom. Like, you're probably gonna hit your shots most of the time. The damage is the second highest out of all the handguns. But if your accuracy is so much better than the Red 9, it's just such a better option, because all that damage will actually be hitting the enemy instead of some cow to the right. Yeah, just ultimately probably everyone's favorite handgun if you're gonna do any kind of run or new game plus, anything like that. It's probably the ultimate handgun. No real cons besides the ammo capacity, but still, great gun. And then we have the W870. Pretty sure that's what the shotgun's called. Yeah, this is an weapon. Now I know some of you really just like damage on things, but like I do for the bolt action. But the difference is here, this fire rate is going to get you killed. Like, this is not something that you're gonna need. The spread is all right, I guess. It's probably the second worst, so not great. The fire rate is probably the worst out of all of them. Horrible. You're gonna get killed by a close-up chainsaw man from that. Even if the damage is probably the greatest, it's not worth all of the cons that it has, such as just the fire rate and the horrible spread. Then we have another DLC weapon, pretty sure, Skull Shaker. I'm gonna put it at great choice. I know some of you would put it at must-have, but even if its size is great and the fact that it shoots freaking fast and reloads great and it has, the second or third best damage, the only thing wrong with it is its freaking tiny ammo capacity. I said that it wasn't a huge issue, but when it's a shotgun and it holds enough for practically no bullets, and that its ammo capacity maxed out is 6. Most default handguns starting is 10. So this thing's just default is probably 2 shots. That'll bring it down so much, even if it reloads fast. I need to have it decent. It just has to be decent for it to be must-have. But if its ammo capacity is that terrible, it's gonna have to go down just a great choice. But I understand if it's still your favorite shotgun. And then we got... Oh yeah, now we got my favorite shotgun in the game. This is the Riot Gun. Yeah, this is peak shotgun. There's nothing truly wrong with it. Its ammo capacity is good. Its damage is... Pretty sure it's the second highest. Its weapon bloom its spread is so tiny that you can almost snipe people with this, which is really nice to have. Some people really prefer the close-up for the shotgun, which I understand, but I want someone to get out of my way from a distance. That way I'm not risking taking so much damage. I don't want to have to run up to my enemy and risk getting one-shotted just so I can actually get the full amount of damage. And it's semi-automatic, so no more pumping, which will severely increase your fire rate. And just... Even in it's about the same size as the pump too. It's just a better W870. It's probably the best shotgun in my opinion. I don't see anything being wrong with it. I don't see anything having a con here. However, I will admit, if enemies are extremely up close to you, this gun will probably only hit one of the many that are piled up on you from its short distance, but that is where our next gun might come in handy, which is the Striker. Now, this is what OGs would use on the original game, and it was my first shotgun besides the W870 on this, because I was like, oh, I remember people using that, it must be the best one. But boy, was I not right. It's a solid shotgun. Actually, well, no. I think it gets too hated on for what it's worth now. I'd say it's a pretty good choice. And the reason why it isn't a must-have like it used to be, well, its speed glitch is gone, like that Dipman glitch. Yeah, that's gone. Its ammo capacity being the highest, which I enjoy. It just used to be so much higher on the OG. Pretty sure like 100 shells, and now it's just 48. And then its spread. Oh boy, you're gonna have to be like 2 meters or like 6 feet if you don't understand how long that is on your opponent for it to even do damage. Probably closer for it to do the most. So for people that really like to get up close, play it risky, and just have to go up right next to your opponent and then just blast them immediately and just spam the shots from how fast this thing shoots, yeah, that's probably a must-have instead. But I like a little bit of distance on my shotgun. I just like distance and this higher power. Oh yeah, that reminds me, the Striker probably has, if I remember correctly, the lowest damage out of all the shotguns, which could mess up anything that you do. So and its exclusive upgrade is just more ammo capacity when it already had really high, so it's not like the best. I would have preferred like a damage or a range increase, but it's still a great choice. But it really just depends on your taste for shotguns. Then I believe we have our last remake gun, which I've been talking about a lot, but I haven't already rated it yet. What the crap? Oh, never mind. I thought I broke it. Alright, so we got the SG09, which I'm just going to put at great choice. So remember the Sentinel 9, that one that I rated a bit earlier? Yeah, this is basically just the default starter version of that, with just more damage, but kind of worse of everything else. It's still a good handgun. Besides the Blacktail, it was the only one I used, because that 5 times critical hit rate for the heads, yeah, I found that really nice to use. Just really cool like concept. So what is there, like now a 50% chance of just absolutely one-shotting someone? Really useful. Has good damage, better than the Sentinel 9, but has probably worse of everything else. Yeah, really good starter handgun. I know some people like to keep these for the entire run. I'd personally sell it and get the Blacktail instead, just because if you pop off someone's head with that and a plaga spawns, like, you don't really want to do that. And I know the Blacktail might do it too, but with the Blacktail, it's like 1-2 shots they're dead, and then 1-2 shots the plaga's dead. And with the SG09, it's more of a 50-50 chance that that'll also happen. So it's rated lower just because I prefer the Blacktail, just because of the size, fire rate, and just damage over this. Still, really good handgun, probably one of the better starting ones. And yeah, I can't rate the original. I haven't played it for myself. It was more of a family member thing that I just watched. But this is my overall list for the entirety of the Resident Evil 4 Remake guns. This is probably going to be biased, and I know a lot of you will probably disagree with some of these, but this is just how I feel about it. I don't really care if you feel otherwise. So, yeah, comment down anything else you'd like to see, like strategies to beating some enemies, or more Blocks Fruits content.